because you're passionate about it. What is driving you is the passion. So most likely there's your purpose in there. And then like for me, it looks like hospitality and leadership and coaching and pastoring are disjointed, but they are not. They are, first of all, the one thing that I've come to the conclusion, number one, is God is always about people.
Yes. It's true.
He the bottom line in terms of everything that you're doing, no matter what you're doing, it's about people. So hospitality, I had to be good at hospitality, which I love because of the events that I hold. So I know how to run the people. I was very shocked how I know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know how the hotels run. I remember one day that was another miracle. Hey, one day we have to do many videos. A miracle at the Pan-African where all the heads of departments were around me and were saying what to do, but it's because they team in the industry and guys had been trying to get them. They had been giving people all sorts of hell. I landed, we stood, we resolved it quickly. And I remember the parting shot of the general manager was Chege Angie sababu mnajua anajua
what you guys are doing.
She knows exactly what's going on. So please be careful. She's an insider. I don't play those games that you want to play with. And the people don't play with them. But so all of it is intertwined.
It's connected. It's
true. All connected. All of it is connected. So purpose is always unfolding. We've always talked about that, and it's always leading into something else. And then I don't know. I wanted to. So we've agreed every couple that comes here, we have to talk about dating. So how was the dating story? If you don't want to answer, camera iko hapo. You can give the politically correct answer, or you could just tell us. Because you know this young man goes to me, and this young man has really traumatized me. I mean, he traumatized me in a good way.
Okay.
I cried tears and buckets, and you know how I'm of drama and excess drama. So this child writes to me and tells me, I'm 19, I'm at the campus, I'm watching your show, I'm writing notes. You know, keyword notes. I was like, notes. So you see, we are modeling the right behavior. We're impacting, we're changing people's lives and perspective. But he said he wanted to know about dating. So I was like, Allah, dating when me, I have questions on dating. So what was the dating scene like, and how did you meet? Also, this one might be throwing under the bus, but you know here, if you want to answer, yes. If you don't, just, ride over it. Yes. The other thing I've just realized is your Kikuyu and your Luo. Now with all the drama that is ensuing in this nation.
Answer 10 marks.
Answer 10 marks. First of all, the dating drama, maybe how you met, what it's been like, but also is there pressure? Because sometimes we hear when people are, although you're Christian, so anyway, answer the question. Let me stop answering for you. When now we have all this sort of rivalry and what's the politically correct thing?
There's conflict.
There's conflict between tribes.
There's conflict,
and you're married to each other, and you're not married just to each other. Families, you're married into families. So I hope everything has been.
Let me just there is no such thing as a blood type described as Kikuyu. There's no blood type known as Luo.
Deep,
and just to get that out of the way, and then we can answer the question. We need to stop our nonsense.
Yes.
If you needed blood, I've seen people on social media say I wouldn't take blood, and I'm like,
no, but you don't know whose blood is in the blood. But I'm like, and from where it came from. And if you're in an operation, are you in a position to say no, which blood you take or not?
So that for me is very sad. But I think the vast majority are people who would realize that you take help where you can get it.
That's it.
So with that setup, how did we meet?
And when you got married, there was no tribe. You met each other, you fell in love, and the rest is history.
In fact, I think we're reminded of tribe
every election. You see, that's the problem. That's what I say. Every time election comes along, is when
suddenly you become.
Hey, by the way, to which tribe do you belong to?
In fact, you start being careful.
Careful, yeah.
You say,
all of a sudden,
you're your partisan.
Yeah.
Your partisan. How did we meet? We met in church.
Very good.
Mavuno.
Kudos to
Who would have
First
known
time.
that would have been my story?
Hi. Hey. Your congregation is here.
It's here. We met in church actually during Mizizi.
Oh.
Together. Yes, we did.
My coffee for Mizizi. And today I mentioned this. I said people have to do Mizizi.
It's true.
Yes.
It's true.
People have to do Mizizi. In fact, there's another couple. This is a digression. There's a couple. We used to do Mizizi in Daystar. Yeah, we started doing Mizizi in campuses, so we used to do it in Daystar. And there's a couple friend of ours who we are in the same parenting class. And we knew them from Daystar. We just didn't know that they weren't dating then. But now when we're in class, the gentleman comes up to us and says, you guys, if you didn't come and do Mizizi in Daystar, I'd never have had the guts to talk to this children. And then now look, we are married. Wow. And I was just like, oh my God, look at that. Yeah, you can avoid or you can try and avoid doing what it is that you're supposed to do and then affect other people's destinies.
Is it, yes.
But
obedience is very important, because I always say destinies are locked up in you. And destinies which you don't have to be super spooky. Look at that. Just because you did something, he was able to approach his wife. Now he's married. Now you see how you helped somebody. And there are many other stories maybe you'll never hear ever.
That's true. Okay. So what was I saying? Okay, so as I was saying, we did Mizizi together, and we were friends for a couple of months after that, and then there was Ninakucheki, Pia Mimi Nakucheki, and then before we finished seeing each other, there was a tragedy, and Chege was involved in an accident, which I will let him just give detail of that as he's comfortable with. But Chege was involved in an accident in Elda-Maravin, and that is what constituted our dating life for the next year. Wow. Because I think the accident happened in February. I don't remember the year. Was it 2010 or 2009? We got married in 2010.
I think 9.
So it was 2009, and then it ended in February.
Yeah, it was 2009.
Yes, it was 2009. So the accident happened in February 2009, and unfortunately, lives were lost. So it started a court case, and for the next 1 year, our dating life was shuffling. Yeah,
and going to court.
Wow, managing a project.
That is what it was. That is what it was.
So that's how your dating happened.
That's how our dating happened, and I guess it was somehow I thrive in crisis. I do. I thrive in crisis. I'm like, it's like all the synapses in my head are on, and I'm like, okay, this is how we can figure it out and stuff like that. And I think it was perfect for us at that time, because in that season, the truth is, I think Chege was going through so much that my firing synapses were what was needed in that situation. Because he and his family...
I wasn't thinking.
He and his family... I mean, it was traumatizing.
No, my brain was not on.
It was very traumatizing. It was a very traumatizing period. And I think for me, even now when the court case ended, is when it was like, now the adrenaline... It was like... What was that? What was that? You know, so it was a very trying period. And I remember even there's, number one, from the onset, we said it was an accident. You didn't wake up that morning saying that you're going to get involved in an accident and people will lose their lives. No. You didn't wake up saying that. No. And so we said, we're going to go the God way, you know, because there were very many options. I even remember
against my natural inclination.
Against your natural inclination.
Yeah. Because when you panic, you're like, what's the closest solution, and how can I manage this thing? Because some of the discussions we were having, I mean, even from a legal point of view, was if you get convicted, you could chew 10 years. And I'm like, no, not very. I mean, you're like, hey, it's not a week. Yeah. So back to Godway. Yeah.
So yes, it was quite the period. So I'm a bit shifty. So we went through the process. We said we're going to do this the God way. Now no bribing. Yeah, the court case, no bribing. Even the lawyer that we got was so amazing. And in fact, the first lawyer that we got, we were like, we have to change this guy, because from the onset he was already talking about bribing, you know. And so we're just like, man, you know, this we're not too sure. And I remember even that was a very difficult time for us, and for the family as well. And even there was a time now towards the end when. I think, was it the judgment was made? What comes first? The judgment and then the sentencing. So all this time, for the past year, we've been shuttling to and from Nairobi to Elda-Maravin almost every month. It was about every month.
Every other month.
And then So we go, and it's the judgment day, and the judge says that he's guilty, but he's going to give his sentencing a week later. But then, hey, Pastor Angie, that's where we reconnected.
I remember.
Do you remember? You remember I came to your house in Upper Hill and you prayed for me.
I remember.
Then you didn't pray about anything about the court. You prayed about other things.
What did I pray about?
I prayed about government. I was like,
government. What about government? Which government? When you see how you go to government, which government?
Yeah. By the way, let me tell you, you didn't pray about that thing. I think it was like towards the end, you're like, oh yeah, and give him grace in this thing. But like it was, I think it was prophecy. Yeah.
Must be, because you know you had government and governance.
Tunaongea na Jesus.
Tunaongea na Jesus. But tunaongea. Lakini unaona sasa alikuwa ameongea how many years ago was that?
It's true.
2009.
It's almost close to 10. It's true.
Yeah, it's almost 10 years. Wow.
So yeah, so the at that period now the judge said you can't go back home. We'll have to incarcerate you until the day for the sentencing. I think also because of the fear of you might bail, because I've said you're guilty.
Even 1 week, guy.
Yeah, and chances are you might not come back. So that was also a very trying period. But I remember us going back to the Elder Maravin police. Let me tell you, God puts people in certain places to help.
Yeah.
Because
in season.
Because number one, was it commander who was at that police station was such a good man, and he was a believer. And I remember him praying with us.
What?
Wait, praying with us. Praying with us, Pastor Angie.
So number one, he had moved to that station just before
the accident.
You see how God positions people for you?
After?
Do you see how God positions people for you?
After the court case, he was moved.
Please, Apana. So it was a miraculous positioning.
God puts
just for that season.
God puts people in your season.
Now you're saying for the season.
In your life for a season.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was brought there just before, and immediately after that, he left. And he prayed with you.
He prayed. Let me tell you, Pastor Angie, not even praying. Wow. I remember
he was positioned there by God.
Yeah, just before. These are many stories, but those just before it was Monday, and the sentencing was on Tuesday, and I went to see him. He almost became like a father figure to the both of us, and he said to me, you know, God is with you, and know if at some point and I don't think he realized, because I had that conversation with him again, and he said, I don't know what you're saying. And he said, when the judge gets confused, know you have God's favor. Like, it was something like that. Yeah? And I was like, okay. So on the day of the sentencing, we're in court, and we're listening to the judge, and he talks and he talks and he talks. And at some point he says, what is this I am saying? And I remember it was me, his family, but I remember very clearly one of our friends, Joere, was there. I remember at that, because I'd shared it with the family, when he said that, I remember turning, and Joere and I locked eyes, and we were like, it is going to be well. It is going to be well.
That's the side he gave. You give your prophetic side and a prophetic word.
Imagine. And after that he said, me, I don't know what you're saying. I don't remember saying that to you.
Amen, Lord.
So, but also on that same weekend, I think the day now he was being taken to the police station, there was a cop who was there, who was also there when the accident happened. And he looked at us and he's like, what are you guys still doing? Still doing here?
Still here?
And we're like, no, we still, the court case is still happening. I mean, it's just about over, but it's still happening. And he said, you people didn't want to talk to the judge? And like, talk to the judge? The way he said it, it's almost like, just have a conversation with the judge. But then it hits you, he means bribing the judge. And he's just like, I mean, these things happen. You should have just done
What's the issue? Yeah, what's the problem? Yeah.
And for someone to say that on the day that your boyfriend is going to jail.
For judgment. Oh my Lord.
Suffice it to say, it's a temptation.
Yes, it is. It's a very strong temptation. Even me, I can't lie that it would not be a temptation.
Yeah.
You know, there's some things, that's why we say, never say never.
Yeah.
You know, whether I was here saying, serve your words warm, because you might have to eat them.
It's true.
Never say never.
Funny.
Because even for me, because a pattern of the day.
Yeah.
If I say never,
On the day,
it is at my door. Sooner
true.
rather than later, it's there and I'm facing it. So I never say never. I know what the right thing is to do, but I don't know what I would do if I'm pressed in this situation. What do I do? You know?
Yeah, and that's a good attitude. I think during the time, God knew I was going to need help, and he sent me Sandra. And so that wasn't even
because I think it was emotional help.
Yeah, that wasn't even we didn't date. You know what
but
we
you did. You got to know each other.
We did,
but
what we were doing
probably the worst
was
possible
trying to
crisis
fix
of
an
your
issue.
life. Yeah. But also, I think there is. I beg to differ a bit because it was the worst possible crisis in your life. Yeah. You needed companionship. Yeah. You actually needed a suitable helper because the Bible says, I will create a suitable helper.
That's what it is.
And that's what she was.
And
she was an emotional support, and she was there also.
That's what it
physically. She was always there to go to you with you, to talk to the people, to pray, to witness this. So I think it really strengthened your relationship and your resolve and your friendship.
It's true.
And we'll be talking about how the basis of any marriage is friendship.
Yeah, you're actually very right. I've never thought about it as a suitable helper. You're actually very right. Yeah,
she was a suitable helper.
Absolutely.
And this is probably the only way you could have known. I wonder whether
I don't. So I don't know.
You're difficult. So I don't know. Maybe God would have been glaring. This is the wife, but you're not seeing anything like that.
Let me tell you, Jesus has a way of talking with me.
Yes.
That's not always the easiest.
You see, because you're not also the easiest.
Yeah, true.
Hallelujah.
Pastor Angie, you just pray, but let's just do it.
We're not fish. We're just saying, we're talking about dating.
Okay, so
that was the dating.
But Jesus knew this guy needs a very particular kind of experience to hear my voice.
Yes, and to know that probably this is his wife. This is the way that he wants you to go
And
forward.
to answer your question, I don't know that we would have.
I know.
And I don't know. You know.
I know. Okay, maybe for myself, how I know.
Just it.
You would never have ended up together.
Without that situation. It's true, by the way.
What would have brought you together? What would have brought you to the reality?
That's true.
The Sandra is your wife. How?
It's true.
So he has to bring situations like that so that he can then direct you.
So, I mean, it's been close to 7 years.
Wow.
Your young friend in university is always just keep talking, even when you're not talking.
This young guy, yeah. Just keep talking even when you're not talking.
Even when you're not talking, just have a culture of conversation that in the moment you probably can't engage with each other, but give it some time. See it from the other person's point of view. The first phase of your relationship, marriage, it's very difficult to do at that point because you are still learning. You know, you weren't married before, so you're learning as you ride the bike. So it's just constant. Pick up the lessons that you're picking. Know who you're dealing with, because sometimes you want people to be a certain way. And so you make your relationship, the number one priority of your relationship is for you to change the person that you're with.
And that's not right.
It's not even sustainable because you get tired. If you want a very particular kind of person, then seek out that person. But if you're with someone, leave them the way they are.
Yeah.
Manage expectations, so you know what you want to tell them. Sometimes you want warm ugali because that's how you were brought up. The guy is cooking for you rock hard ugali, you're like, Bana, I hate this part, I hate them. And it's a small issue, but you turned it into like let's watch Anna. If you can't make ugali the way and this is in your head. If you can't make ugali the way I want it, let's call it.
I'm glad you said that because we also said that even with Maxi, that a lot of stuff is in our head.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff is in our head, but also unmet expectations. Just say, this Mills and Boone drama, you can't do, just remove it.
Just remove it.
Say what you want. What do you want? Say. And speak it and get to share what it is that you want so that there are no unmet expectations. Because I think unmet expectations is a big one.
Yeah,
it's a very, very big causer of separation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, in relationships.
Even in the context of relationship, married or not, don't do it by yourself.
Don't do what by yourself?
Don't do the relationship by yourself.
Okay, okay.
As a unit, yourselves, don't do it by yourself. There's an inclination to think we know what's best for each of us, so we'll figure it out. And that's good, because overall, that's how it's supposed to work. But in the formative stages, and even as you go along, look for opportunities for people to see you guys, and you know, the Christian phrase is to speak into your lives.
Yes.
Because without that, we all have limits, and when you hit your limit, you crash.
Yeah.
So you can imagine you're supposed to be a spouse, you're supposed to be a boyfriend, girlfriend, but you are crashing. Your person probably doesn't even know
That you're crashing.
Yeah, that you're crashing. So it's very mentorship, coaching. These things they become so common and frequent these days that we band them around.
Deep.
But think about what that means. You need to be coached for you to reach, for you to, you know, Michael Jordan has a coach. Yes. Musicians have coaches.
They do.
Who are you not to have a coach? And so figure out what that looks like for you, and get a relationship coach.
And I think one of the greatest testimonies I have of that is a couple who came for coaching, I think, on different things, but ended up being coached in their marriage. And their testimony for me was that we've been to so many places to try to get help for our marriage, that this is a shocker that this is where we got the help. Yeah, and it's just because the answers come even as you're being coached as a couple. So even I suggest if there's any issue, go be coached as a couple. Even it could be business, it could be something that's completely unrelated. But if you get the right coach, they'll be able to draw out things from your personalities or from what you're talking about that now drive and affect even the marriage. Because now there were positive outcomes for the marriage, there were positive outcomes for whatever they had come to be coached for. You know, there was just positivity all over the place. So coaching and mentoring, people are throwing those words around, but they're very, very important.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're very, and it's like for me, I always say I have a personal trainer, a coach, and I really stress that guy. Oh, I need to do a show with him I stress that guy like crazy. But you see, I get a lot more done with a coach.
It's true.
Yeah? And I used to be a person, I think I do, but I used to love exercise a lot. So I was also even motivating myself. Then you go to a point, I'm like, why even bother? So I don't know why lazy mode has checked in. That guy is at my door. I didn't don't come to my house.
Go
He's there. He standing at the door, causing a lot of problems. I'm like, what? And you see, he'll push me. He'll make me do more than I want to do. There are things he'll ask me to do. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
Absolutely.
And he says, first of all, give me 10. Stop.
As you're
complaining, first give me 10. Then after those 10, I say, even if you kill me, I cannot do that exercise again. Another 10. Hey, before I know, I've done 30. So that's what a coach does. They're just able to push well, but to get you to do more and to draw out every potential that even yourself, you don't think that you have.